The sound of 3 tiny fists pounding on my front door changed my life forever. When I opened it, I found 3 frightened children standing on my porch with small backpacks, tear-streaked faces, and confused eyes searching for answers I didn't have. Their mother, my own sister, had already driven away, leaving behind only a short handwritten note that promised she would return in just 1 hour. I believed her. I waited by the window for the rest of that afternoon. Then the evening came. Then the next morning. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and somehow that 1 hour became 12 long years. But nothing could have prepared me for the moment she came back, not with tears or apologies, but with a lawsuit demanding the children I had raised and the home I had built for them. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, forgiveness, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to the Kindness Corner. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories to people around the world. My name is Marin, and until that morning, my life had been wonderfully ordinary. I worked as a librarian in a quiet town where every face became familiar after a few years. My little cottage had 2 bedrooms, a tiny garden filled with sunflowers, and a peaceful silence that wrapped around me every evening after work. I had never married and never had children, but I often imagined that life had simply chosen a different path for me. My younger sister Selah had always lived differently. She chased excitement, moved from city to city, and made promises as easily as she forgot them. Even so, she was family, and I never stopped hoping she would eventually find stability. The 3 children standing on my porch that day looked exhausted. 8-year-old Rowan tried desperately to act brave while holding the hand of 6-year-old Ivy, who refused to let go of her worn stuffed rabbit. Little 4-year-old Finn clung to Rowan's leg, barely understanding what was happening. Inside one backpack I found spare clothes, a few snacks, and the note that simply asked me to watch them for 1 hour because something urgent had come up. I brewed tea I never drank, cooked dinner that grew cold on the stove, and checked my phone every few minutes. Every passing hour chipped away at hope until silence became the only answer. Police reports were filed, calls went unanswered. Friends who claimed to know Selah had no idea where she had gone. Weeks later, the authorities admitted there were few leads. The children officially entered temporary guardianship, and because they already trusted me, I became their foster caregiver. Temporary was a comforting word at first. It made everything feel manageable. But temporary slowly faded into permanent routines that stitched our lives together one ordinary day at a time. Life became a constant balancing act. I accepted extra shifts at the library and spent evenings repairing neighbors' clothes for additional income. Every dollar mattered. There were school lunches to prepare, shoes that seemed too small every few months, doctor appointments, birthday cakes, and endless piles of laundry. Some nights I cried quietly after everyone had gone to sleep, wondering whether I was enough. Yet every morning the children greeted me with sleepy smiles that reminded me why I kept going. Rowan carried invisible burdens far too heavy for a child. He believed he had to become the man of the house overnight, always protecting his younger brother and sister. It took years before he learned that children deserve to be children. Ivy struggled with nightmares that left her trembling before dawn. She often asked questions about whether people disappeared because they stopped loving someone. I answered with patience, even when my own heart broke. Finn remembered almost nothing about the day he arrived. To him, I simply became the person who tucked him into bed, cheered at his soccer games, and kissed scraped knees after every fall. The years rolled forward with quiet determination. Our tiny house grew fuller with laughter than I ever imagined possible. Summer afternoons were spent planting vegetables in the backyard. Winter evenings became traditions of homemade soup, board games, and reading stories beneath warm blankets. Money remained tight, but love somehow multiplied instead of shrinking. The children learned that happiness did not always come from expensive things. Sometimes it came from pancakes shaped like animals, or dancing together in the kitchen while dinner cooked. There were difficult seasons too. Rowan was bullied because his clothes were secondhand. Ivy struggled through anxiety after classmates asked painful questions about her parents. Finn once burst into tears during a school event celebrating families because everyone else had photographs of both parents. Each challenge tested us, yet each challenge also brought us closer together. I reminded them that family was not defined by who gave you life but by who stayed when life became difficult. Eventually, the temporary guardianship became legal adoption after every reasonable effort to locate Sela failed. Signing those papers felt bittersweet. It acknowledged a heartbreaking truth while protecting the children from endless uncertainty. We celebrated quietly with ice cream and a promise that no matter what happened, this home would always belong to us. Time transformed frightened children into remarkable young adults. Rowan earned a scholarship to study engineering after spending years tutoring younger students for free. Ivy discovered a passion for nursing because she wanted frightened people to feel safe the way she once longed to feel. Finn became a talented musician whose songs carried hope through every lyric. Watching them grow filled every empty corner of my heart. Then, just as life finally seemed peaceful, an official envelope arrived. My hands trembled as I opened it. Sela had returned. She was demanding custody, claiming she had rebuilt her life and insisting that I had stolen her children. The lawsuit accused me of manipulating the legal system and turning her own family against her. Reading those pages felt unreal. 12 years of birthdays, illnesses, graduations, tears, sacrifices, and unconditional love had been reduced to cold legal language. The courtroom became the place where every memory was weighed. I feared the law might overlook the countless invisible moments that truly build a family, but something extraordinary happened. Rowan stood first, no longer the frightened little boy from my porch. Then Ivy, then Finn. Each of them calmly described the woman who had never missed a school concert, who stayed awake through fevers, who worked endlessly to keep food on the table, and who loved them without expecting anything in return. They explained that biology had given them one beginning, but love had given them a life. The judge listened carefully before delivering a decision that echoed through the silent courtroom. The adoption remained valid. No custody would be changed. More importantly, the court recognized that the children's wishes and lifelong emotional bonds deserved protection. Sela walked away with nothing except the consequences of the choice she had made 12 years earlier. Walking out of that courthouse, the sunlight felt warmer than it had in years. We stopped at our favorite diner, ordered far too many slices of pie, and laughed until tears filled our eyes. It wasn't a celebration of winning. It was a celebration of finally being free from fear. Our family had survived abandonment, hardship, uncertainty, and even a courtroom battle because love had quietly done its work every single day. If this story has touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes love is stronger than blood, and subscribe to the Kindness Corner. Your support allows stories like this to inspire people who may need hope today. Special request. Comment below with the words "Love never leaves" if you believe real family is built through sacrifice, loyalty, and unconditional kindness. As we drove home beneath the bright afternoon sky, I realized something that no court could ever truly define. Family is not created by a single moment of birth. It is created by thousands of ordinary moments when someone chooses to stay instead of walking away. Kindness often asks for everything and promises nothing in return, yet somehow it always leaves the deepest legacy. Those 3 frightened children who once stood on my doorstep had given my life a purpose I never knew I was missing. And together we proved that the strongest homes are not built by perfect beginnings, but by hearts that refuse to give up on one another.